This is a story about providing safe water in Ecuador to a community called La Pacifica, elevation between 10 and 11,000. And we, as Lansing Rotary, have had the opportunity to go there 3 different times. And every time I see this picture, I know why we go. She is the most beautiful little girl I've ever seen at 10,000 feet. But it's making a difference in their life. We went there in 2005 to do a study of La Pacifica, to see if it was possible to take the spring that they had and turn this into a community water system. Only 100 homes, so it's very small. These are Quechua Indians, and they are the low rung on the ladder of both the economic engine and cultural acceptance. They generally speak Spanish, but many of them speak Quechua. Very few would speak English, so we have to have an interpreter. Ecuador is bounded on the north by Colombia and on the south by Peru, and you can see it's relatively a very small country. Someplace there is a, we fly into Quito, which is here. We generally go to a province called Chimborazo. It's the spine of the Andes, and that's where we do our work. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I'll get this yet. 6,000 children die every day, and half the world's poor are sick at any given moment from the same causes, water-related diseases. These are children not only from just La Pacifica, but also in some of the other communities we have visited. Every living creature on this planet is sustained by water. We must have safe drinking water or die. Yet every 15 seconds, a child under the age of 5 dies needlessly from a water-related illness. These are the children at school. You can see they do have some playground material there, but they generally all wear the same thing, and you'll notice hats. At 10,000 feet, even during the day, it's cold. At night, it's real cold. This is what you see a lot. Children raising children, because mom and dad have to do the things they have to do to make a living. These families make somewhere between $500 to $3,000 a year. So you can see it takes a lot of time and energy to do that. And generally they have quite a few families, or quite a few children. But what's also important, 1 in 3 in the world lack adequate sanitation. 1 in 5 do not have access to potable, fresh, clean drinking water. This is the group that in 2006 that we took the trip into the mountains. And we go for 5 days, 6 days and 5 nights. We take our sleeping bags, we take something to sleep on, we sleep generally on the floors of the schools, and we may visit 15 communities that we've either done water projects in, are going to do water projects in for the future. And so this is a pretty intense, if you will, 5 days. I happen to, on this trip, represent Lansing Rotary, which is the downtown club. I also am a member of the Michigan Section American Water Works Association, and their subcommittee is Safe Water in Ecuador. All of these people are those people. all Michiganders, all water professionals, all interested in making a difference in Ecuador. What really makes this work, this gentleman, Bruce, and one of his staff, are missionaries in Quito. They are a member of HCJB. They've been there since the late 30s. Their specialty is water and waste. We deal with them because we can trust them. They have integrity. When we send them money, it's going to be spent for the right kinds of things. And what they do is the survey, the engineering, and the oversight, and the training of all of these people to put these projects together. Without them, this does not work. The Michigan section of the Safe Water in Ecuador has been to Ecuador 15 or more times. They've invested over $300,000 in waterworks projects in Ecuador. Lansing Rotary, we've been there 3 times. We've invested over $40,000 in water projects. And the reason I was there is I'm a member of both Safe Water in Ecuador and also representing Lansing Rotary. So I kind of had twofold in that regard. But the project we're going to talk about today was a Lansing Rotary funded project in La Pacifica. Now, this is the spring that the citizens of La Pacifica were drinking from. Now, if there's any Scotch drinkers in here, you don't want to use the water from this spring in your drink. And that's exactly how it works. You can see that somebody built a concrete structure here with chain link fence. The water from here would overflow. There's a receiving stream here, and the water would overflow into that receiving stream. And to get water, you had to come down here and fill up your bucket, whatever it was, and take it back to your village. Very labor intensive. Generally, these are the kind of chores that women do. And so what we decided to do was to encapsulate this spring, and this is how we did it. First of all, you can see this is from the chain link fence, and we put in a concrete structure. There's a better picture of the concrete structure. What we did is we had the people from La Pacifica dig down to the water-bearing soil, or water-bearing water, to the sands, put in slotted pipes, filled it with gravel, put in plastic, and then encapsulated that in concrete, and then backfilled it again. All of that then runs into this structure. Here you can see we're looking at it. You can see these are part of the colleagues here. It's cold. It's in the morning. Everybody is bundled up, covered up. And here's a sample being taken for the water quality. We had an incubator with us so we can test for E. coli and other bacteria. And the water, now that we test, is absolutely safe to drink. And she does provide to the women and the children and the girls in La Pacifica a great, great role model. This is the water coming in here. It comes in about 15 gallons a minute. Metric is about a liter a minute. Excuse me. The water goes out here and then runs a little over a mile. And you can see there's a trench here. This trench was dug, hand dug to 3 feet in the soil to lay the pipe. The water line comes up here, goes into a new reservoir. You can see we're standing on the reservoir here. Water comes in, water goes out to the community. This, from the reservoir, you can see, goes over to La Pacifica, which is basically in this area. Again, 3 foot deep. You can see this is primarily volcanic ash, easy to dig, but still, it's a long way and extremely hard work. Well, this is what it's all about. Fresh water to every house. There is no plumbing inside these houses. And before we get to this point, we have the community make a commitment on 5 items. One is they have to install a latrine. Sometimes they put in 2. Maybe it's his and hers, I'm not sure. But they have to install a latrine before we'll undertake our work. They have to pay for a new water meter. Now this is not a Jesus toaster, I can tell you that. That is a water meter. And why do we have a water meter? Because if we don't, they turn the water on, leave it, and they waste it. Not only do they have to pay for that water meter, they have to pay a monthly water bill of between $2 and $3 a month. Not much, but low income. Quechua woman with a child, and actually at this point in time, we're wasting water just so you can see it, but this is it. Everything has to be taken from here into the home. But now they have something to wash hands with, take baths with once a week, and the girls don't have to do the work. Here we have town meetings, and you can see they're really dressed with ponchos because it gets cold. This is where we're going to sleep tonight. Here I'm making a presentation in front of the community, and basically what I said to them is, my family is like your family. And everything I say has to be interpreted because I'm speaking English. They don't speak any English. And I said, the reason that's true is because I want and you want something better for your children. And they clapped. I didn't understand that. I asked Bruce, the interpreter, afterwards, I said, why was that? He said, because nobody identifies with us, or in that case, with them. Because they are the low economic engine, they are the low totem pole in the culture. I felt that in my heart then, I feel it today. It's about helping people help themselves. But what's one of the keys? She works for HCJB. She's a hygiene specialist. She goes in there every month. She talks to the women and the children about things that they need to be doing in terms of personal health and hygiene, and creates a wonderful role model. She speaks Spanish. She's learning to speak Quechua, even though she's lived there all her life. It's a very unique language. But every month they look forward and they have more and more and more questions. Well, there's never enough hand washing, and now we sometimes run out of soap. So at the end of the day, we're making great headway, and and if we can get these young people washing hands, we know we have won the war. And thank you. Again, I love that face. We're wasting a little bit of water here, but it's great. But it's important that we talk about changing lives in La Pacifica. Less sickness and illness and better health. Sustainable, clean, and potable water. Water every day. Although it's 15 gallons a minute, it's every day. We see hand washing now on a regular basis and weekly bathing. Improved personal hygiene. Girls don't have to get the water. Girls now go to school, and more importantly, they've got role models. They know they just don't necessarily have to be a homemaker. There's something else other for them as a profession. So we in Lansing Rotary invested only $15,000 to buy the material and the equipment. That's pretty darn cheap at the end of the day. But Rotary has raised over $100,000 for water projects in Ecuador. We are about to fund a project in Uganda for Jackson. In fact, I saw him last night at the red carpet. So it's a small fraternity about helping people with water problems. And they don't have to be expensive, but they make a difference. Safe Water in Ecuador, the Michigan section, AWWA, has invested over $300,000 in Ecuador alone. They have impacted 15 projects. They go down every year. With time, they're going to impact another 15. There's that much need and demand in the high Indies. 20% of the Earth's surface freshwater supply is here in the Great Lakes Basin. I'm going to repeat that again. 20% of the clean water, of the Earth's surface freshwater supply is here in the Great Lakes. But in Michigan, we have some problems. If you know the thumb area, they don't have a lot of groundwater there. What they have is loaded with arsenic. So we've got lots of water, but we also have our own water problems. It is our responsibility to be a world water steward, to conserve, protect, advocate for safe potable water for all people. I say to you now, volunteer local, watersheds. Volunteer through Lansing Rotary. We'd love to have you on one of our trips. Or more importantly, volunteer with Safe Water in Ecuador, the Michigan section, AWWA. So with that, that's my conclusion. I would like to thank TEDx Lansing. It's a great opportunity to come and talk about something that's very passionate to me and to Lansing Rotary and to the Michigan section people who believe so much that water is so life-sustaining. Thank you.